Yes, I'm sorry to keep going on and on about this business of innuendo and humour. Uh, Pedrago Hooligan says there are countless lines in Shakespeare which are extremely ribald and their equivalent would not get broadcast today. I agree. When generations of children were studying his plays, the real specific meanings of such words or expressions were not explained, though they were indeed deliberately written to be ribald and fully understood by the audiences of the time. Absolutely, not only Shakespeare, but also Chaucer, which certainly in my day was read at school and read really rather blandly. The bawdy humour was popular at the time and was presented in a very clever, concealed way, with more than a nod and a wink. It was presented on so many different levels. The Merry Wives of Windsor. Why when the world's mine oyster, which I with sword will open. It's a line from Pistol, who suggests the world is full of opportunities and oyster. The world is my oyster, but he will open it he will exploit that opportunity with his sword. However, the whole idea of a sword in the hands of Pistol is a double entendre and suggests sexual conquest. I'll tell thee what, Prince, in Much Ado About Nothing, I'll tell thee what, Prince, a college of wit crackers cannot flout me out of my humour. The wit cracker refers to people who are doing witty remarks, but crackers is also a sexual innuendo implying something significantly more physical, with crack being a crude joke for sexual conquest. By my troth in Twelfth Night, by my troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier a nights. Your niece, my lady, bade me tell you that. To come in earlier a nights is full of sexual innuendo, suggesting he should be more discreet, more prompt, more efficient in his nocturnal activities. Hamlet in Act 3 of Hamlet. Do you think I meant country matters? The same joke is there in the last act of Henry V. And I don't even intend to explain that, but Jeremy Hunt might have a few things to say about that. It delivered during a conversation with Ophelia, and Hamlet is teasing her with innuendo. And if you go to Chaucer, The Miller's Tale, and privily he caught her by the quint. Quint is a pun on the word quaint, meaning clever and elegant, but it's also, frankly, I mean, you don't need much imagination to see that there's another Jeremy Hunt reference there. For lordling, since I was 12 year of age, thanked be God, that is, etern on live, husbands at the church door have I had 5. She's had 5. She's had 5 husbands at the church door. Well, it not only implies legal marriage, but also hints at her capacity and her endeavours on the street corner, I think. And with his feet, he smoothed the kerchief. I suddenly under the yard, that of the stroke he wax will read. The euphemism, the yard, and the rod. All of this is just bawdy filth. It's not even quite innuendo, I think. But because of the passage of time, we've lost access to the meanings of all of these expressions, and that huge monologue by the doorkeeper in the Scottish play is hilarious if you can unpick the lost innuendo and the lost filth. But as you can't educate an audience on the hoof, you've got to do something significantly more expressive to get them to unload their humour, because you need that you need that belly laugh in order to get the shock of the death of the king that comes in the next scene. And it's that use of humour and tragedy next to each other, which Shakespeare is picking up from Euripides, Euripides in the Bacchae, where you've got that extraordinary scene where the king is teased by Dionysus into wearing a dress, and Dionysus is sort of saying, "Oh, you look very, that's just you, sir," and then in the next moment, we're told that he's being torn to pieces by his own daughter and mother, and because we've been laughing, we are more relaxed, and therefore the shock of the tragic revelation is so much more extreme. And Shakespeare does this again and again and again in Antony and Cleopatra, just before Cleopatra kills herself. You've got the comic scene of the man who's bringing the asps in a bowl of figs. And the man isn't described as the asp carrier. He's described in Shakespeare as the clown. And the jokes that he is making are so full of innuendo about the worm, and women like the worm. And, it's filth. It's pure filth. And it's designed to produce that belly laugh so that the tragedy is so much more immediate and so much more hard-hitting. And Shakespeare knew exactly what he was doing. And in our rather prim and censorious world, we've lost so much of that stuff. And by putting all the sort of slap and tickle so visually on stage, we are and on film, we are losing the audience's imagination. The audience needs to do some work so that it doesn't go to sleep, and so it doesn't. So it's actively involved in the swings and balances, in the shocks and surprises of drama.